What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, Go Black to Africa. You know, I want to share this video because this American woman went and visited South Africa, got a hold of some information, did a video, and caused a big roar from many of South Africans as well as African Americans. She seemed to have gotten her story a little twisted, and yet she came back with an apology because she started to receive a lot of pushback and death threats. I want to share this video, and at the end I want to share with you all how devastating this could be, and I hope that she and other white Americans and Europeans see this video, because if you don't know the history, your very words, your videos can cause wars and loss of life. Check this video out and I'll be back.
Hashtag farm murders is something that's going on across Africa, especially South Africa. Zimbabwe is just above South Africa, and we are about 45 to 50 minutes from the border. People are illegally crossing into South Africa and killing innocent farmers. Now, let me tell you what. Obviously, there's no facts. This is coming from a very trustworthy opinion. And I'm saying opinion because do what you want with this information. All of the stories that I was told left a pit in my stomach, and I double checked the locks on my door. I don't know how to say this without sounding racist, but this is how it was explained to me. I mean, if you talk about race anytime, someone's going to call you racist. So this is basically what I got from what I was told. The government is granting people, white African Americans and black African Americans, lands, but the blacks are getting it for cheap or free. And I know everything's two-sided. This is just the information that I've been told. Black African Americans are granted this land and they are not utilizing it to its full potential, and it's just going to shit, to where white African Americans are using their land for profit and bringing money in, whether it's safari hunting, livestock, or crop. I know that's like a very bold statement of me to say, but that's just what I was told. And so what these black African Americans are doing is the white farmers like 3,000 upwards a year. Because why? Because they are greedy and because they can, I guess. What I was told is these people will come in, and even though you're in a gated area, a safari area, and you've got all of these gates and you're protected and you have all of these people with around you to keep you safe and whatnot, if they want you, they're going to you, and there's no getting out of it. They'll have walkie-talkies set up everywhere, so if they really want to attack one farm in particular, but it takes forever to get to the middle of it because of all the gates and the land, they'll sit out and have walkie-talkies and talk to each other, and when they come in close, everybody that's on that farm, they will tie up in a house. And what they do to the women, yeah, you've one of my followers actually messaged me and said her brother was in South Africa and witnessed a woman getting RAPED, and they did nothing about it because it was Black Authority Police. If you were white and you were by yourself and you have even if you don't have jewelry on, you're fucked. Obviously, there's some places that are safe and there's some places that are just not safe. It's like a red zone. You don't want to be there. Us Americans think that we have it bad. Basically, I left South Africa with a different standpoint of the world. That's why I love traveling. I get a different perspective every single time I go somewhere else. We've got a lot going on here, okay? But so do they, and so does every other country. There's always going to be good and there's always going to be bad. Their government does not want us talking about it. And it's crazy to me that I'm one of the only Americans talking about this, and after I post something about farm murders, I have so many messages of people in Africa that are directly getting affected. If not them, they know someone who is. I truly wish I could tell you how bad it is through a video, but something that
this is an apology video for everyone, especially the people of Africa and especially the people of South Africa. First of all, I just want to say I've been receiving a lot of death threats lately. Not only am I getting the harassment, my friends and family are getting harassed and threatened. I just want to say this isn't really a way to get a point across. If you're American, this doesn't really apply to you. So if you're African, listen to me. I'm here to apologize. I apologize for the negative effect that my videos had over South Africa and the people of South Africa. I also apologize for keeping those videos up and not deleting them sooner than when they should have. I entertained it far too long and they are now taken down. I went on vacation as a tourist and I wanted to share the bits and pieces. My experience was super limited, but I made it out as if it was the whole country of Africa and that nobody should visit. I made it sound like your guys' country was dangerous everywhere and that this was widespread. I am genuinely sorry. I never meant to hurt or portray anything, and I really wanted to represent your guys' country as best as I could, and I clearly didn't. And so I apologize. And I'm looking back at it all, and it's like, you should have used your head and just deleted it to begin with. My first mistake, and I should have deleted it right away, and I don't know why I didn't, was saying white African Americans and black African Americans. And I apologize for that. That was something that I didn't mean to say. It just came out. I get to talk.
What do you think? You know, let me say this right here. I'm 56 years old. I have lived in America practically all my life. I left America and came to Africa. I could not deal with what has gone on for many of years, as well as I know that will come many of years to come. But I will say this, I knew my great-granddad, who was born in the early 1900s, and he had his stories he shared of how it was in America and the devastation that happened to thousands of black men. You see, my dad, my granddad, and my great-great-granddad, who knew that back then a white woman could make an allegation against a black man and he would be lynched or burned to the stake. I remember my dad telling me what's more dangerous than a white man is a white woman's words. And this was not him being prejudiced. This was the evidence of what was back in the day. He would tell me when I was young, you know, because I was brought up around the military, predominantly white people, you have no business dealing with the white girls, and you need to be cautious. He was speaking out of experience. This history that we have seen, that today the Karens that are in America, who have caused the devastation by calling the police officers for a black man going into the building that he lived in, and they didn't believe he lived there, as though he's a threat, would bring on a police force who was come blazing, and a life could be taken. And many lives have been taken by Karens making allegations or false calls to 911s. Black man threatens white woman in a park, or white couple says black couple walking through their neighborhoods doesn't belong there and they live there. Or, you know, the UPS drivers delivering and somebody says there's a strange man here in the neighborhood and yet he's doing his job. These many stories by the allegations can cause lives. And this is what has been changed and transpired, that if you don't know the history, it's all the same. What happened in the past is what's going on today. It's a modern day lynching or a killing by the words of people. And I hope this young woman will realize that when she puts out information, she must be mindful that she can cause wars. She can cause people's lives to be in jeopardy by mistakes of saying African American or white African American when she actually was talking about the African American, the African and the Afrikaans. They call themselves Afrikaans, which I agree they need to change that A to an O because they're Afrikaans. They are cons of an African. Once we understand the history, then we know that we have to be mindful of information that's put out there. So at least she apologized in the era that she did. But the sad part is that she knows these videos will circulate until the end of YouTube. With that, family, this is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.
Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. think about it.